take Lyra and give TSM Baron, I'm assuming. So let's see what happens here. Yep, Vox gets banned. I think Temple's probably going to take the Lyra here.
All right, well, letting Baron through into Bestrak and A's hands is not a wise move, but Tempo Storm are going to commit to that. They will have that Lyra engage, which, you know, theoretically is good enough to shut down a Baron.
Yeah, they can probably take Idris here and just ban Baron if TSM doesn't want to play Baron right now into the Lyra composition, but they definitely need to ban Baron if they do not take Baron, whatever they decide here on the side teams. Yep, they're going to take Idris and they're going to ban the Baron for sure. Yep, there you go. And then Tempo Storm will probably ban away Koshka here, I would assume, or Cruel. We'll see what's going to happen from Tempo Storm's side.
I mean, I could see Tempo Storm also banning away the Kestrel, not wanting to give that over to Von C, but it is going to be the Lance.
Wow, Lance.
That's
what?
Very interesting, because TSM, I mean, they've run the Lance twice, but it's not
that's,
like a power
interesting.
pick for them.
Does that insinuate that Tempo Storm are maybe going to go with things along the lines of, say, Koshka, for example, and maybe Blackfeather, and it's something that they want to not have against them?
It's most likely the case. I mean, I don't really see a reason for banning the Lance unless it is a counter to what you want, but you're not going to get the Koshka because TSM are just going to take that.
TSM has Koshka, Grumpjaw is up though, so Tempo Storm can do like a Grumpjaw with like an Adagio composition, double heal potentially, but then Idris can build Poison Shift, but Idris has to come up in melee range, so they can just focus him if he wants to jump on to the Adagio or the Grumpjaw. But they're gonna go with Jewel here instead, so that's interesting draft here. Jewel and Ozo, wow. Woo, what a surprise.
So Tempo Storm,
man,
you want some fringe picks.
They want to set a storm here.
We've got your fringe picks.
But
right
also,
here.
they're taking TSM's fringe picks. These are both picks that TSM have withdrawn with in the last few games. Like, this is maybe a bit of a statement coming out from Tempo Storm.
Well, we've also seen...
Cruel.
Oh my goodness.
What is this draft?
Oh, wow. Cruel Koshka again.
I can't tell if I'm losing my mind or whether the meta's just shifting in this crazy direction that no one was expecting. Once again, is this Captain Koshka again? It's got to be, right?
Most likely, yeah. It's going to be double weapon Cruel with Idris. They're going to try to gank lane, but thing is, Jewel can jump out of trouble. She can get the heck out of there, so we'll see how this is going to work in terms of ganking lane.
I mean, one of the biggest things we talked about in that last series, Cloud9 TSM, was this Captain Koshka was good in a specific scenario. We're in a different scenario now. They're picking it again. Is this just TSM saying, we don't care, we're going to play it anyway, or is this a bad pick right now?
I think it's just the we don't care, we're going to play it anyway. It's also a little bit of the try and stop us sort of thing. Like, they're going to run it until someone stops them, and that's exactly why they picked it up here. It's also going to force extremely early reflex blocks, hopefully. Yep. You know, we saw the Crucible come out extremely late by Cloud9. I would assume it's going to be very early because they need to stop that lockdown potential. And again, Tempo Storm has to be aware that the lane is going to be focused heavily.
All right, very quickly, CJ.
They're going to entertain us again. And I think TSM will take it.
All right, I'm willing to be entertained. I am ready for this one. Cloud9? No, it's a different kind of Cloud. Tempo Storm going up against TSM here. Hashtag Vainglory8 on Twitter. Let us know who you're voting for. Captain Koshka once again from FlashX. Let's head on into this grand final.
Thank you very much, guys. Grand final, here we are. Worked once. Apparently it's going to work twice if FlashX can get this rolling again. Captain Koshka, this time with a different laner.
I much prefer Tempo Storm's way of dealing with it though, Jaws. You've got Lyra, right? Bulwark prevents the move in from Flash. You can see the From Hell's Heart come out. You can prop the Bright Bulwark, and I don't think you can get the Koshka easily on top of her target. I think Lost Voitov's likely to pick up a Crucible early here as well. And once you've seen it, you should be able to think about ways that you can deal with it as well. Do like the Cruel into the Jewel though. Really, really like Cruel into Jewel because again, one of those high damage targets that will really, really struggle against those weakness stacks. But again, TSM really seem to be onto something here. We are really going to wait to see them at level 6. Although, I think Koshka really functions a little bit like Grace. Can be early, aggressive in the jungle. And that functions so well with Cruel as well. They can sort of double up to be aggressive as a duo. Are you just still laughing because you hit me on the head?
Yes. Fonzie. Fonzie's going to have a relatively easy time in that regard as well. Caspi gonna get run down. and he's going to get bonked on the head. Speaking about getting bonked on the head, Lost Boy is just going to get chased out by Von Z here. In fact, he just might go down. He does. No smite really needed from Von Z, but he does it anyway. That's first blood to TSM already. Tempo Storm, he might be a little bit outmatched by TSM, but this is exactly what you don't want to let happen. Well, Hyde is going to go into best chuck, but can't really find any meaningful damage.
Bonsi's looking for a gank here. Hyde has to be careful. He's used that acro bounce.
He's used the acro bounce.
He's just dead.
He's just dead. Yeah,
he's
another
just dead.
smite.
Double weapon blade as well for Von C. Huge damage at this point in time. You know, very early on can have this kind of impact, and he's going to go straight to the backs of Tempo Storm. Toph's trying to do what he can, but I think Von C is going to be able to get this healing camp with ease with the smite. Might not be able to get the double camp as it's going to be a 2 versus 1, but Flash X is making his way over and he's going to run straight onto...
Flash X, Von C's there as well. He's going to jump on in. Lost Boy's going fairly low, popping that sigil down for HP, but it's not going to be enough. Von C just running him down. Flash X once again securing the 3rd kill, funnily enough, in the game. And now Hyde hasn't really got anywhere to run. He's just going to have to hope and pray that he's got enough regeneration and that a Lost Boy can make it to him in time. And now Von C, not really concerned with Hyde. He's just going to take away those back camps away from him. And now Flash X just running him down. Von C getting that speed up from his passive. He's just not letting Hyde go.
No, but Hyde should be able to sustain up here. But Flash X has got that big on-hit damage. Kosh has got really good base damages.
Oh my
and Hyde
goodness.
pops the potion.
He's going to kill him. Yeah, Flash X actually might just run him down here. Pouncy Fun straight on top of him. There comes the Acro Bounce for Flash X. Once again, 2 games in a row, he's found a solo kill.
1v1'd Hyde there. Even with Hyde's double crystal bit. Hyde will be able to go and get his backs on rotation here, as I think Von C will have to move through his own jungle, so he might have missed out on that rotation of backs, but he should be back in time to pick up the healing trail. It looks like he's heading directly to lane. Maybe they're saying, okay, we've lost jungle, the only way we get through this is by going straight to lane and putting pressure onto Best Chuck, because that seems to be what Lost Boy Toph's done now, as they've just given up trying to 2 versus 2 Flash X and Von C with this wonderful Koshka and Cruel combination that's been so good for them.
I mean, Rip solo queue is something that I can say for a lot of captains right now.
Rip solo queue.
A lot of laners and junglers. Flash X showing actually that Koshka, especially when she hits level 6, is effective, but apparently when she's level 3 as well, you can find that early aggression onto someone like Hyde, being able to take 2 kills in the early game, matching Von C, has 100% kill participation as well. They're almost 2,000 gold ahead of Tempo Storm right now.
And Fountain finished. Lost Boy Toph absolutely nowhere near to finishing his own. I mean, he's got 1,200 gold in the bank, so he should be able to turn that into...
Von C. Von C just walking up to Hyde right now. The Bright Bulwark is going to snare them all up. That will make an easy exit for Hyde. Von C, unrelenting on this pressure, has already got Tension Bow.
Already got Tension Bow. That on-hit damage is pretty huge. Hyde trying to capitalize on the Necro Bounce, but doesn't land it onto the target that he would have wanted. Also have to remember, level 6 fast approaching for Von C here. Once he takes his rotation, should be able to pick that up. Gets a Swift Shooter. Again, attack speed so vital for this Cruel in the mid-game. And it looks like we're going to have a CP Idris for Best Chuck. So they are going to have the mixed damage coming through this time. Makes Best Chuck a bit safer against this duel as well. He doesn't really want to get into melee range, wants to be playing from afar. He's working towards that, which will make him a big late game threat in his own right too.
Flash X has got a different idea about that.
Also, the double lockdown CC into a clear chakram hit from the CP Idris. That is just more and more damage that is going to rip through a single target. Goodness me, TSM.
Speaking about a single target, and there comes from Hell's Heart, lands straight on top of Caspi. Turned his back away, instantly killed.
Yeah, blown up there. It's almost your immediate reaction. They are going to push onto this turret. Flash X taking a bit of damage.
Flash X, yeah, that turret shot almost cleaning him up there, but doesn't manage to escape with an inch of his life. Didn't even have Fountain as well, so could have popped that at the very last second, but you know,
held on to it. Held on to it. I like that. I like a man that knows his limits. Flash X one of those.
Boy, and limits of taking heroes into a captain role.
Hit me on the head with your bloody elbow.
Yeah, that is true, yeah. What? long arms, I guess. I don't know.
I headbutted your elbow.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back. We talked about this composition to death in the last game between C9 and TSM. You know, they showed exactly what they wanted to achieve with it. I like that the Lyra, you know, gonna have the Bright Bulwark. It is a way to shut down the engage from TSM. You can kind of capitalize if you see one form of engage come down, lock the Bright Bulwark in, and it makes it easier to kind of keep one of those targets safe. Also, I'm pretty certain Lost Boy Toff is going towards a Crucible. He hasn't even got boots and has picked up an Oak Heart, so I can only assume that Crucible is going to be his next point of call.
It kind of has to be right now. Flash X level 5 is approaching the level 6 mark, and even from Hell's Heart is available from Vonsi. Maybe looking for an in here.
Flash X almost level 6, by the way, and he's about half a level, and doesn't look like neither Hyde nor Gatsby are considering...
Oh, there goes the From Hell's Heart straight onto Gatsby. He just gets deleted again.
Lol.
Jumped away, just absolutely annihilated in midair, mind you.
That damage from Best Chuck coming out on the Shatter Glass for his Chakram as well. You saw clear sights, single target burst because he gets locked down, and looks Gatsby prioritizing a reflex block. I'd like to see Hyde do the same, and then that obviously Crucible coming out for Lost Boy Toff will be very, very good, trying to protect one of those targets. But again, Flash and Vonsi have already done enough work now.
Immense
They've already got the ball rolling. They pick up the gold mine because Tempo just cannot respond. TSM. I mean, we were expecting a 2-0 for TSM here. I mean, let's not beat around the bush.
Well, hang on a second. Vonsi is caught here. There's the Bangarang straight on top of him. But look at that regeneration. Gatsby's got his back turned to Flash X and Best Chuck now. And Vonsi's still chasing out Hyde. He just gets obliterated, smited away. That's actually 2 kills now picked up for TSM. Flash X secures the other one. There goes the Crystal Sentry as well. TSM, they're walking all over Tempo Storm right now. It's 8-0 at the 7-minute mark.
The healing on Cruel right now is just so good, even despite the fact he doesn't even have Poison Shiv, which he can finish pretty soon, mind you, so that'll probably be his next point of call after they get this turret. Take the turret down, head to shop, get Poison Shiv, start to capitalize even further on these fights.
Big red button was used to maybe clear out a couple of those minions. There comes the Acro Bounce. It's going to find Best Chuck, but TSM just jumps straight on him. But Vonsi has finished that Poison Shiv. Look at him on this sidelines. From Hell's Heart available, Yummy Candy Frenzy available. He actually throws it, goes a little bit wide.
Boomerang!
Boomerang straight back. Yummy Candy Frenzy on lockdown as well on top of Hyde. Gatsby going fairly low. He's just going to get run down as well. TSM, I mean, they're all ridiculous at this point. They're 10-0. Vonsi, he's sitting at 7 kills. A kill a minute for him almost.
What an insane display here from TSM. Incredible display.
Oh my goodness! I mean,
I mean, it's such innovation from TSM as well. From the mind of Flash X, the guy that has really been one of the driving forces behind TSM's victories. You know, you talk about a lot about his influence in the draft phase. You talk a lot about his influence in play. They do have a great analyst. I believe Lucky Bread's still working with them, but I mean, Flash X is one of those minds that has these kind of impacts, and for TSM to pull a Koshka out as a captain in a composition that has viability, in a composition that works, and not only works, a composition that dominates. It's just a spectacle.
Oh, Vonsi maybe looking for a little something extra here as well. Does jump on that Crystal Sentry to start off the fight. Best Chuck just laying down 3 damage. Crystal Sentry is going to fall. Gatsby just takes a Hell's Heart to the back and just falls down just from the base damage here. Now Lost Boy Toff using that very short passageway to get a little bit of distance, but it's going to get cut down. It is prime, you could say. Hyde, he's going to monkey around. He's going to bounce around. But TSM, they're going to find the ace at 9 minutes, and they're just going to run it down this lane.
I'm wondering, Ozo was a side pick, wasn't he? So they blind picked an Ozo into TSM, which I find very odd because Ozo classically very good at dealing with ranged junglers like the Samuel, ranged junglers like the Kestrel that can stick to them. Ozo's really bad in this composition, to be honest, because he's bad against Cruel, bad against Koshka in some ways. And Best Chakane even then has the ability to escape a lot of the damage through his ultimate. Ozo's is basically doing nothing, as though the scorelines of pretty much everything from Tempo Storm reflect that. Haven't really kept up to the speed of TSM, and they've consistently applied pressure. Going to be a zoning ultimate coming out from Gatsby, but he is weapon power, so not a huge amount of damage coming out. But look at the item spike differences between these. Eve of Harvest, first item for Hyde, by the way. Eve of Harvest, first item. Poison Shiv's going to shut down that item choice, I can tell you that.
Yeah, Vonsi, they're not even going to let the Crystal Sentry go to mine. In fact, it is just going to go down where it stands. Vonsi from Hell's Heart lands on Hyde. Just miraculously, there becomes the Yummy Cannon Frenzy as well. Gatsby tried to jump in, but he's just now running around this turret. Echo Pop from Flash X jumps in for another Yummy Cannon Frenzy. Vonsi is going to get healed up here from the fountain. Is it going to end up surviving? That's going to be 1 kill at least going over to Tempo Storm.
Perfect game.
Ruining the perfect game. TSM, though, they find another couple of kills. There's again, look at, thanks for the perfect game ruiner. But TSM still dominating Tempo Storm.
Been fantastic to watch. Just the innovation. I've heard in the third place game that we have a Captain Ozo as well. Captain Ozo and Gabe Bizzle. So this is just, I think it's pushing the limits of VG, and that's what's the beauty of Vainglory. The beauty of Vainglory is that there are no limits to the way that you play your heroes. There are no limits to the way you formulate a composition. Everything is possible, and nothing is unachievable. And, you know, before this game, most people would have looked at a Captain Koshka and said, no.
It's going to feed.
It's going to feed. If someone locked this in your solo queue game, admittedly, you do require a great amount of coordination to make this work, but you'd have had none of it, right? Before this game, most people would have said this is not really viable. People now look at this and say, in a specific composition like this, it has great viability.
Yeah, with the right communication and right...
Exactly. And that is what beautiful about Vainglory.
Yeah.
Everything is viable. Everything. In the right way.
Yeah.
You know?
Captain Idris, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Wait and see though. Maybe FlashX will pull that out next week. It's always interesting to see what he does there. Pull out from his sleeve. And now, just sheer control over the lane. And you spoke about power spikes. And I want to say, I want to just give Tempo Storm a little bit of hope, maybe coming back into this game. Where can they go at this point? Because Gatsby, yes, he's got that Sorrow Blade. He's got the monocle, working towards a second monocle. But realistically, Vonsi is just going to run him down. And you can see FlashX actually going in here on Hyde. There's going to be a reflex block actually being popped here. So Vonsi kind of free at this point to maybe look for an opening with this help from Hell's Heart.
I mean, they could look for an opening with anything.
They're going to boomerang it. It's going to land on the Lost Boy, but it is going to get blocked. But they're just going to jump on straight on Hyde. Fountain going to heal them all up. That turret was the target for TSM, and they do manage to take it down. Lost Boy, you know, he's getting annihilated in this front line.
Did they block literally everything? Because I think FlashX even echoed his ultimate there. They must have blocked literally everything. They blocked the From Hell's Heart, and the FlashX must have separated his targets with his ultimate onto both Gatsby and Hyde to block both of those. Wow. Great. That's what a Crucible can do.
Crucible works wonders when you pop it at the right time, and apparently Tempo Storm very good at that. We'll see if that does aid them in these later fights, although the gold lead is stretching towards that 10,000 mark, sitting at about 8,000 right now. Immense gold payout for TSM. That's their third gold miner taken away from Tempo Storm. Now, they're just maybe looking to kind of close this game out. They are 15-1 at this current moment in time. I mean, they've hit power spikes across the board, even Vonsi going for that breaking point as well.
Breaking point picked up is massive for him as well, because it gives him longevity in these fights also. Gatsby's going to try and clear the wave, but you know it's desperate when you're dual ulting the wave just to get some CS under your belt. Hyde working towards a broken myth, so looking for the heavy sustain build here. Gatsby's gone full out burst with the tornado trigger and the Tyrant's monocle. Not completely out of the water for Tempo, although I say that.
No, Vonsi is going to find Lost Boy top.
Rip.
Well, there you go. See you later. Smite away. Vonsi's now just going to run down Hyde as well. Yummy Candy Frenzy onto Gatsby. That's one, that's two, that's three, that's a double kill. Four, the Idris.
JK. They drained the swamp.
Yeah, exactly that. It was like, oh, maybe they can come back into it, but I just think they are just too far behind right now.
You got to be positive.
Maybe more.
You got to be positive, I suppose. But yeah, I think this has been lost since about minute 3. It's genuinely felt the way that there's just a level of aggression, and when you get back to the draft for Tempo Storm, you're thinking, do I ban Koshka now? Do I even have to ban Cruel? I mean, these have been massive impact picks for TSM. 9-1-6. 5-0-10, 4-0-10.
4-0-12. He's
4-0, I can't read.
16 out of 18 at the moment. Kill participation. Now TSM, I'm going to start this Kraken. Vonsi's got a lot of damage, but maybe just baiting Tempo Storm out here. It will be their last fight, you could imagine. There's only 2 turrets standing between TSM and the first victory in this best of 3 right now. Oh boy, Hyde's still got a pizzazz in him. He's saying push to win, but they're going to jump straight onto Vonsi. Look at that health bar just going straight back up. 2 members down already. They just cut through them, cut them into pieces. Ace for TSM, and I think Scoundrel, that's going to be the end of the game.
They don't look like they want the Kraken anymore with only 2 turrets left to take down. Even if Tempo Storm respawn, they have shown that they are incapable of fighting TSM on a basis. Lost Boy Toft used none of his activatables there. That's one thing that could play into their advantage, but I think this is just going to go down too quickly. TSM take the first game of this series, and it wasn't even close.
21 to, well, 16 minutes in, you're sitting at over a 10k gold lead, 13,000 in the lead for TSM. Tempo Storm, they got to change something up for game number 2 because
Tell you what, it's not Picozo.
it was a run over.
I don't think there's anything more I can say about this. TSM have shown that they have a wide gulf between them and the majority of North American teams, and this was just a demonstration of how far most of those teams need to go.
Oh,